without a bread machine.
Okay guys, so for the dough, what you're gonna need today is 4.5 cups of flour. I use all-purpose, but the recipe used bread flour, so either or will work. And then you'll need a teaspoon of salt, half a cup of white sugar, a cup of warm milk, 2 room temperature eggs, a third a cup of melted margarine, and a package of active dry yeast. Okay, so what you want to start off with first is to dissolve the yeast in the warm milk. So I just warmed up the milk in the microwave, so just maybe 10 or 50 seconds at a time, and just touch it with your hand, make sure it's warm, not hot, because it'll kill the yeast. So just put the yeast in, and just mix it. Okay, so after you set the yeast to the side for a minute, get your sugar, salt, and then crack in your 2 eggs. Remember, room temperature. And then add your 1/3 cup of melted margarine and mix together. Alright, so after you have all that mixed together, you're going to just add your wet to dry ingredients. I'm just using my KitchenAid stand with my dough hook to do that. And also add your milk and yeast. And then start off mixing on low. So kind of like that. Okay, so after you finish kneading the dough and it becomes a nice ball, just take it out of your mixing bowl and just put it in a clean bowl, sorry. Then what you'll do is get either a damp paper towel or a damp, clean tea towel and just cover it up. Alright, so, and then what are you going to do after that is you're just going to put it someplace warm and let it proof for an hour. What I did was I warmed up my oven, and then I'm just going to put it in the oven because that's probably the warmest place. So you don't want to cook it, but you want it a warm spot for the yeast to activate. Okay, so it's been about an hour, and if you see, pulling this out, it's pretty much doubled in size. Alright, so what you're going to do is lightly flour a clean surface, and then we're going to roll out the dough. So what you'll do is you'll roll it out with a rolling pin, about 16 inches by 21 inches. So the filling that you want is a cup of packed brown sugar, 2.5 tablespoons of cinnamon, and a third a cup of softened butter. So I know a lot of people will spread on the butter first and then put the mixture on top, but for me it's a lot easier if I were to mix it all together and then spread it, and then you don't get that overspill. So after you guys are done spreading it out, bring as much of the filling to the ends as you can. So what you'll do is you're going to tuck and roll. What you can do is just do one more tuck and roll, and then you can actually just roll it up. Then you can just, with your hands, just roll it. So once it's rolled up, what you'll do is you're going to cut it into 12 pieces. So the easiest way to do this is just mark it halfway, and then in this half, mark it by separating it into 3 pieces, evenly as you can. And then between those, you mark it. So that's 6 pieces there. So again, sharp knife, just cut it where you marked it. So once you've cut it all up, in a 9 by 13 pan, I just put a piece of parchment paper down you're just gonna put your rolls in it. So it should look like that once you're done. And then with that same wet tea towel you used earlier, or a new paper towel, you're just gonna cover it up and then put it back in your warm place and let it proof again for half an hour. Okay, so after half an hour of proofing in the oven or wherever warm place you are, it'll double size like this. So just make sure you preheat your oven to 400 degrees, and then it's gonna go in there for about 15 minutes or until it's about a little golden brown on the outside. All right, so while we're waiting for the cinnamon buns to bake, I'm just gonna make the icing. So in here I've got a package of softened cream cheese and a 1/4 cup of butter, softened also. So usually I start off with that first, and then I'll beat it until it's soft. So once it's nice and smooth, it'll look like that. And then I'll go ahead and add 1½ cups of icing sugar or confectionery sugar, and then 1/8 of a teaspoon salt. So that's generally about a pinch. And then 1/2 a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Okay. So with the sugar, because it's really light, be careful, start off slow, or else it's gonna get everywhere. And that's your cream cheese icing. Alright guys, so this is the final product. I've just taken it out of the oven, gave it about maybe 5 minutes or so to cool off, and then all you need to do is finish it off with your icing. I'd recommend spreading this guy when it's a little bit warm, because then the icing goes on better, and it just gets melty and delicious. So thanks for joining me on my rainy day vlog today. I hope this recipe is nice and easy for you guys. Try it at home, comment below, let me know how it turned out, and please subscribe. I'd love to hear what you guys thought and how I can improve more. Thanks guys, bye!